Sean here with BaseMint Comics. It is Wednesday, April 22nd. It's Earth Day. I'm wearing a shirt that looks exactly like my grandmother's couch for a very specific reason, which you will find out later on in the video. But it's Earth Day, and it's New Comic Book Day. That's a pretty good combination for us to hit the trails and ride up to our comic shop to pick up our new books. Then we'll be back here. Tea will be made. New comics will be discussed. And something I was very excited about will be talked about at the end of the video. So let's get into it and enjoy the earth. I like the earth. You like the earth. Maybe not all the people on it, but overall I like it.
Now, here is now, and that's where we were. The faster it goes, the more it blurs. Sleep, I don't wanna sleep, 'cause I miss the now. So let's raise a toast to living. Here's to the light on the run. Raise up your glass. Time's a charm. They say you can have all of what you wanted to. It must be true. Oh, 'cause I've got you. I want the Alps to well outlast the dams. Oh, I want to live to the border tears till I'm gone. And I want you all to sing with me. To sing. Here's to the light. Spread on the run. Raise up your glass. Time's a charm. They say you can have all of what you wanted to. It must be true. Oh, 'cause I've got I want you all to sing with me. To sing. Here's to the light. Spin on the run. Raise up your glass. 'Cause these times are charm. Here's to the light. Spread on the run. Raise up your glass. These times are charm. Here's to the light. Spread on the run. Raise up your glass. I want the Alps to well outlast the downs. Down, down, down. I want the Alps to well outlast the downs. Down, down, down. I want the Alps to well outlast the downs. Down, down, down. I want the Alps to well outlast the downs. Down, down, downs.
All right, we are back from the ride up to the comic book shop. As we were packing up to leave to head up to the shop, we got word that a restaurant that I've gone to my entire life, this place called Daly's. It was this old like a drive-in place that had the thing on the outside that the cars could pull up to, yak into the speaker, and then gals would come out on roller skates and deliver the hot dogs and burgers and chocolate malts and milkshakes and all that type of stuff. And I've gone there my entire life. Plenty of memories there. In 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic, when everybody was locked down, this place would have done great during the pandemic because you could just pull your car up, right? Some idiot kid in some souped up big truck backed into the thing and broke it, and the business didn't have, I don't know why that kid wasn't forced to like work it off and pay for it, but the business didn't have enough to fix that thing up. So I am sure every time I go in there, like half the restaurant is closed, like half the seats are closed. It's been a rough go of it for about 6 years, and so they announced today that they will be closing by the end of the summer, which is a bummer because I've already been like lamenting the things that my child will not get to experience in life. The joys of running through a Toys R Us. Like that sucks. Like, oh, have fun looking at Amazon, kid. Lame. Anyways, so we detoured the bike ride after the comic book shop so that we could get so full on chili dogs that were ill, and then we were like, you know what's going to make that even better? Chocolate milkshakes. I don't know. It's why I bike so much. But now we are back. The tea is made. And I am not going to talk about the books from last week. There were a couple things that I liked. I set them down over there, and I don't feel, if I lean because the chili dogs video over. X-Men United came out, and let me tell you, it lived up to exactly what I thought it was going to be, which was a bunch of characters from Exceptional X-Men, which was already canceled, in a trench coat, pretending to be a different X-Men book, and it is just the same, and it's just as not good. Get it together, Marvel. How are you messing up the X-Men this bad? It's like not hard. It's one of your greatest things that you have in your roster, and you're screwing the pooch hard. Inglorious X-Force was all right. I read the, I got the free comic book day things because I ordered them in bundles because I pass them out at Halloween, along with a bunch of other comics. So I read those, and those were good. I'm excited about the things that are stemming out of those, but I'm not going to talk about it because those books don't come out for a week and a half or something like that. May 2nd, I think, is when those, I'm looking forward to that day and biking up to the shop that day too. I'm sure I'll do something on, they're calling it Comics Giveaway Day now. And that made me laugh because I was like, oh, did the shops finally explain that, like, hey, we get like trucks full of people that have never been in a comic book shop any other day other than free comic book day, and we have to like stand at the door and explain to them that it's just certain ones that are free, and you can't pull the Amazing Fantasy 15 off the wall and expect us to just give that to you because you graced us with your presence for one day a year. So there's that. That's, welcome to Free Comic Book Day. I think Free Comic Book Day should be in August on Jack Kirby's birthday. And we should all have to pay extra, and it should go to the Kirby estate. Anyways, chocolate milkshakes make me salty. Books that I picked up this week. Like, I honestly, Magic and Colossus #3 came out. And I've actually really, like, that's a mini series so I shouldn't completely dunk on Marvel's handling of the X-Men. There's like bits and pieces, but the overall, like, just because like a side dish was good doesn't mean the entree is great. And they need to figure out how to get that entree up to par. Okay, so you will learn throughout us getting to know each other that if I pre-order something, I'm picking it up, which is why I am still getting Sorcerer Supreme. And I was hoping that it was a mini. I laugh. I got a good chuckle out of them adding the legacy numbering. Dude, what? There's no need, like, come on. I understand legacy numbering for Uncanny X-Men, for Captain America, for Iron Man, for Spider-Man. But tossing a little tiny 49 underneath that 5 just shows me that there's probably been 8 or 9 starts to the Scarlet Witch series that hasn't panned out. There's a lesson to be learned there. For me and for Marvel, I should probably stop buying it. They should probably figure out how to make it better. Speaking of being cool to your shop, last week I did not get Planet of the Apes and the Fantastic Four #3 because my shop didn't get it. And years back, I was at one of my comic book shops and they didn't get their books. Like they were getting them later. And I saw people come into the store and like get bummed, which I get, man. We all have it. We're all, except for McGroovy. He doesn't have it. But I've got something for him at the end of this to keep him entertained. That's a little hook there. But most of us, New Comic Book Wednesday rolls around and we're like, Tuesday, it's like the night before Christmas. You're like, all right, I'm jazzed for this. So these cats came into the shop and the books weren't there. And instead of being like, cool, I'm going to go do something else with my life for a couple hours, they were like, well, just put my books on the rack. I'm going to go down the street to the other shop and because they got their books and I'm going to buy them from there. And I was like, you guys suck. Like, that's lame. That's lame. So here I am, a week late on this. But you know what? I didn't miss it. And I'm not a creep. So, Century #2. I enjoyed #1. Liked the art a lot. It reminded me of, I think it's Paul Delia, something like that. It's like a sketchy, dark, moody thing. He's the guy that did the Cyclops and Phoenix miniseries. I like the fact that Paul Jenkins is writing this because he obviously did the first Century stuff. So, one was a solid setup issue. I'm hoping for a lot of good things out of the second one. Wolverine #19. Hercules has been imbued with adamantine, which is the whole thing, but it was fun. I mean, come on. It's going to be a Hercules versus Wolverine fight. That's fun. This Wolverine book, since it came back from the Age of Revelation, has been one of the better X-Men books out there. So I'm pretty excited to read that. The next book, as I was logging it into my CLZ app, is the drumroll, the 17,000th comic in my collection. And if you go back and watch my interview with McGroovy on his People with Issues, I don't know how many comics I said that I had at that point, but if you look at that and then you look at how not long ago I did that, and then you realize what a difference, it means that I've been buying a lot of comics. He took a month off. I felt like I needed to save the industry because he wasn't buying anything. Spider-Man versus Superman. The first one, not the one from the one from the 70s was awesome. But the one from just a few months ago, I had a blast with it. I saw some people that were like critiquing it because it was like, this doesn't make sense. Shut up. It's just supposed to be fun. And that's exactly what it is. And I like the fact that there's like, one of the things that I loved about the 70s one, the big ginormous Treasury Edition one, and what I liked about the other one is that there was no like, oh, let's spend 9 or 10 pages explaining some multiversal reason as to why these two universes collided. It's like, nope, they just are, and they always have been, and that made it even more fun. And I know I'm just a Marvel guy. I'm not really, I dip my toe into indies occasionally, but they never, it's not anything I keep around. Never really, took too much of an interest in DC. It's not, I play it off to some of my pals that it really gets under their skin that I am somehow like anti-DC. I'm not. But, becoming a father has made me realize that if I keep on joking that I'm anti-DC, then the kid's just going to be like, I'm a Superman fan. And then I'm going to have to like give him up for adoption. It's going to be a whole thing. So I was like, hey, we're excited about this and we're into it. And I'm going to open the door a crack. If he's, if Mark Waid gave him Batman and Robin back at the last Motor City Comic Con that we were at. So like, I'll let him figure out what he wants. I'm not gonna influence him too much. He's gonna have to buy all that stuff with his own money. Cause I got my stuff wrapped up in Marvel. Rogue number 4. Man, for as much as I've been like complaining about Marvel, this was fun too. This like I was expecting this to be one of those kind of Psylocke Ninja Between the Raindrops thing. It's not. It takes place in current continuity, and I have enjoyed it. I think this week, you know how the weeks kind of, everything's on a monthly schedule. So this week, I think, is always my favorite week of the month. Cyclops number 3, another X-Men book that I'm digging. Cyclops going up against the Reavers. That's always a good time. So I'm into that. Captain America has been fantastic. Chip Zdarsky's doing great things with this. And this is obviously leading into the Armageddon event that is coming. So, I'm here for Chip Zdarsky writing an event. That's a lot of fun. Infernal Hulk number 6. This was not a book that I pre-ordered, but they put it in my poll anyways, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this. And the next Infernal Hulk versus the X-Men. I'm in for that. Dope Comics. He one day in one of his videos from a while back, I think it was he was showing off a really rare Civil War II, the issue where Bruce Banner dies. He got like a variant cover that was signed by Stan Lee. Very cool. And he had said something in that video which struck me as like it sort of reframed Hulk stories from Civil War. So Civil War II, obviously, Hawkeye kills Banner. Spoilers for a book that I think is a decade old now, maybe. No, it can't be a decade old, can it? Oh my God. Is it? Anyways, it's old. Spoilers. He mentioned that the way that everything that's happened since then in like his, how we all make our own, at least I do. I make my own headcanon. That's why when people are like arguing about continuity or whatever, I'm like, whatever, like you have fun, nerds. I'm over here with my own, like, it's just how I roll. But he brought up this really interesting thing where he was like, yeah, I think that Bruce has been dead this entire time and that this is just the Hulk in hell. This is Bruce Banner in hell. And what he went through in Immortal Hulk and what he's going through in this is just Bruce in hell. And I was like, damn. I was like, that's really good. That's really good. I like it when there's moments where like other fans can say things to me that reshape how I look at things. Like I have this buddy, Alan, and years back, we were talking about that like Paul Smith era of Uncanny X-Men that kind of ends like around 175. The whole Madeline Pryor thing and how everyone was like looking at. He said that he thought it would have been interesting if that whole thing was put on by Mastermind as like a final FU to Scott. And that Madeline didn't actually look like Jean. Like Scott thought she looked like Jean. And like when he was like, hey, doesn't she look like Jean? Like everybody else was like, yeah. But like she didn't. I don't know. And that it would wind up being like a Mastermind thing as to why she looked like Jean to Scott. I always thought that was really interesting. And I was like, oh, that would have been cool. So there you go. So I now read Hulk as though Banner is just in hell, which is kind of a bummer. It's not light bedtime reading, but there you go. There you have it. Somebody flipped a switch in my brain when it came to comics. Hulk smash everything. Ryan North killing it. Hulk smashing it. It's been a blast. Like it's just the Hulk. It's really fun art, and it's been Hulk smashing everything. That's cool. Amazing Spider Carnage. Just what I wanted. Another symbiote. I have not hated this as much as I should. I read the Venom issue that maybe came out last week. That should have been another, like, I read that again last night and was like, oh, this isn't terrible. I'm also, like, I read that comics giveaway day thing, and there's kind of something that's touched on that'll be, I'm sure, further touched on down the way, leading into Amazing Spider-Man number 1000. So while this hasn't been my favorite thing, I don't hate it. And I for sure thought I would hate it. But, you know, it's Spider-Man, drawn by Ed McGuinness. Am I thrilled about Mary Jane being Venom? No. Am I thrilled about everyone being a symbiote? No. But, you know, that Venom issue, like I said, the last Venom issue wasn't that bad. And I'm interested to see how this plays out and how it leads into Amazing Spider-Man number 1000. So, oh yeah, for the geeky old hog, I'm supposed to. Who knows? Maybe I'll read it and next week it'll get a double eye roll or a triple eye roll. All right, I promised that I was going to keep my pal McGroovy interested, even though he doesn't pick up new books. So every now and then at my shop, unlike when other stores get in collections and they just dump it out all at once, my store tends to, like, I think, seed the long boxes occasionally. And so every now and then I look at the fronts of the box to see if there's any 60s or early 70s stuff that I am missing from my collections. And today I saw this Captain America and Falcon, little John Romita Jr. action there, and I just thought that cover was very cool. Like, I liked the green in the background, and it just looked super fun. So I was like, I will pick that up. And I was like, oh man, if they've got new classic Cap issues in here, I should check the other big names. And I got this Daredevil number 38 classic, Dr. Doom versus a poor blind guy. It's probably not going to go well. But drawn by Gene the Dean Colan. So, you know, there's that. So there you go, pal. More Gene Colan for the collection. So I was pretty excited about it. It's not, I mean, obviously, you know, there's a chip down, but for $10 plus my discount, I was like, I'm in. Looks so good. Such a good video of me just looking at Gene Colan art while you can't see it. You're just staring at my awesome shirt. All right, speaking of my awesome shirt, that looks like my grandmother's couch. My grandmother on my mother's side. Lovely woman. Here's us getting up to no good back in '96 in Vegas. Towards the end of her life. She stumbles up to my house one day, all frantic, because she did not get her Sunday paper. There's her, how I remember her. Chair, coffee, paper. Okay? Why was she in such a panic that she didn't get the Sunday paper? Because it didn't have the funnies, and she missed out on the funnies, and she has been, since the 70s, according to my mother, as I'm like, why is she so upset that she didn't get the paper delivered, and she's asking for ours, and my mom's like, oh, she's obsessed with Spider-Man, and she just reads the Spider-Man newspaper strip she has, and I was like, wait, what? And I was like, what? All this time of me obviously spending plenty of time with my own grandmother. I loved her dearly. I mean, I still love her, but she is long since passed. But I was like, how was this never... I was like, Grandma, what the hell? I'm like, all of this time, you and I could have been, like, instead of us talking about, like, the latest outfits that they've released at Jacobson's or whatever, while we were sitting around the kitchen table eating ice cream and playing Old Maid or Sorry or whatever, we could have been talking about Spider-Man. And she was like, why would I talk about Spider-Man to you? You're reading the wrong continuity. Because my grandmother read the newspaper strip. So when she passed, I spent hours and hours with glue sticks and stacks of old. I mean, the hours I spent finding these, tracking these down, putting them in the correct date order, okay? Because I missed my grandmother, and gluing them into this binder so that I could, after she passed, read my grandmother's Spider-Man. Okay? I mean, you know how hard it is to figure out the way that these tie together? Because some of them didn't have the dates written on them, you know. I mean, she had cut out a lot of them in her quest for some odd reason to get a complete run of the old newspaper strips. So I have these like volumes, and still obviously in the works here with plenty of these, trying to piece this together to, you know, as a way to honor my grandmother and her Peter Parker, who would never make a deal with the devil, Sean. Then lo and behold, Clover Press put out these 1977, 78, 79, and 80 volumes, and they are beautiful. And they showed up yesterday in the mail, and I was very excited about it. They are going to continue these volumes. I think 2 of them are out in stores, but if you backed the Kickstarter, you got all 4 of them at once. They come in these great slipcases so that they can all, like, it's all going to line up and look the same, I hope. Unless, I'm telling you, I will riot if we get to, like, the later years and they change up. Nothing makes us angrier than trade dresses that get changed midway through. And then, you know, it's this way. So it just slides in there, which I'm sure these corners are going to get dinged to hell, but I don't care. And then, you know, it's just a beautiful presentation of these. And the thing that I love is that in the corner here and here, it's got the dates, like this January 3rd through 5th, 1977, January 6th through 8th, and then there's your Sunday page, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I assume, and then Sunday. And on and on and on. So I know that they're releasing them in stores. I know that there have been collected volumes before, and those have been, from my looking into it, they have been pricey. And I know that to sit around huffing glue while you put all of these together, you know, that's a task and a half in and of itself. So I was pretty thrilled when Clover Press put these out, and I am 100% on board for them. I've gotten other stuff from them, art books and stuff like that, of like particular, like I've got a Michael Turner one, a Russell Dauterman one. They're about to do a Kickstarter from like Marvel art of Mike Zeck, which I'm super excited about. But this, man, I was so happy when they announced these, and I'm sure my grandmother is laughing her ass off with my mother about how now I'm going to actually read the correct Spider-Man continuity. I mean, what a bold move there, right at the end of her life, to be like, I wasn't going to talk to you about Spider-Man, you dork. You were over there with your comic book shop and your Ben Reilly's and your Mary Jane Venom symbiotes. I was over here reading Peter Still Married. So, you know, I'm going to play some Irish music. I'm going to drink bad coffee. I'm going to talk trash about my grandfather. And I'm going to read some classic Lee and Romita Spider-Man. That's what I'm going to do. Do I add those? Do I do a corner box supplement? Here's how it's going in this continuity of Peter Parker. Do I really go that far? But yeah, that's pretty exciting. So if you're into those and you didn't hear about that Kickstarter, you should hop on these 4 volumes and then start backing those as they carry along so that they for sure get those finished, because that's a blast. So yeah. So other than the sadness of dailies announcing that they're closing, man, what the hell is my kid going to grow up with that's like actually sticks around? You know? I don't know. This is me. This is me being an old man. I'm like, record stores are gone. Toys R Us is gone. All these great restaurants are gone. You're left with your gizmos and your doodads. It is what it is. But our comic book store is still kicking. We supported today, gangbuster style. And we can always time travel to the late 70s with black and white Peter Parker. That's what we're going to do. So, you know, let me know. Did you read the, you know, I've looked at the analytics. I know the age bracket of my audience. Did you, since we all know what newspapers were, did you read the Spider-Man newspaper strip? Am I a big dummy for continuing to buy X-Men books? Is the geeky old hog going to fly all the way over here just to slap some sense into me so that I no longer buy all these Marvel books? Is McGroovy thrilled that I picked up a Gene Colan Daredevil? Tune in Saturday or Sunday or this weekend for the next Corner Box Classics to find out. Because I don't treat any video like it's someone's first video. It just one flows into the other. If you're not here for the inside jokes, that's on you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking this ride with us. I mean, you can subscribe if you want to, but you don't have to. And, you know, read your comics and enjoy them and talk about them. Tell people. Shout from the rooftops if there's something that you enjoy. And I will see you in the next Corner Box Classics. Have a good week.